Hi, everybody. This is Dr. B here with another edition of the Dr. B Show. I interview the great Sara Pena, who is influential here locally in the state of New Jersey. And it's a great conversation. Enjoy.
Hi, Dr. B here. Are you struggling to get rid of stubborn fat but don't want to have plastic surgery? 111 Spa and Aesthetics non-invasive slimming massage can help you get the body you always wanted. 111 Spa and Aesthetics can also help you when it comes to cellulite treatments and body contouring massage. 111 Spa and Aesthetics offers a full range of skincare services, including facials, acne, scar treatments, skin tightening, microdermabrasion, and more. 111 Spa and Aesthetics are trained professionals with extensive skincare experience and utilize only the best equipment possible. For more information, please visit their website at www.111aesthetics.com. That's 1-O-N-E-11. Leven spaaesthetics.com, located at 10 East Moonachie Road in Hackensack, New Jersey, 07601. And to make an appointment, don't miss out, 201-520-1777, 201-520-1777, 111 Spa and Aesthetics.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Dr. B Show, Season 4. I'm here with the great Sara Pena. Sara, how are you?
I am doing fabulous. How are you, Dr. B?
Doing great. Being recorded during the holiday season. Happy holidays, although it would air later in early Q1 23, right? So I'm excited. So let's jump right into it. Tell everyone about yourself.
Okay. So, right now, currently, I am the Director of External Affairs at PSEG. I was the former director at the New Jersey Department of State at the Center for Hispanic Policy Research and Development. Prior to that, I worked at University Hospital Public Affairs Department in Newark, New Jersey, and just had a lot of leadership positions throughout my career. I'm born and raised in Newark, went to school in Newark, raised my family there, my son, and just really am always about my community and just love giving back. I recently started, well, I wouldn't say recently, maybe 10 years ago now. Time just flies, right? It started a nonprofit for young men in the city of Newark and the greater surrounding areas called Boys to Leaders Foundation. So that's just a little bit about me.
Just a little bit. We'll get into that in a little bit. So, I always start off most of my interviews, talking about education, and then I get some baseline questions, and I get into the nitty gritty of the matter, right? So, so I did some research on you, right? Obviously, you went to Kane, right? You got your bachelor's in mass management science and a master's in public administration from Rutgers University. How did both of those experiences help you into what you're doing today?
So, as we Latinos, especially, people of color, right? When we're going into college, some of us didn't know about college. Some of us did, but weren't sure what we were going to study. And some of us really got a culture shock when we went to some colleges that predominantly were white. And some of us also just the study habits. We weren't really well prepared to enter college life. And I'm talking about things that happened 20, 30 years ago that I still see consistently happening today. So that was kind of my road to Kane University. Going into Kane, at that time, it was predominantly white institution, a teaching institution, very well known. It was known as Kane College. Being there really changed my life. That university really changed my life. It opened my eyes to a lot of things that I may have been sheltered to because of my family or school or things like that. And I think, I'm always forever grateful to Kane. I really took my time with it, putting it nicely. Instead of 4 years, it took me 6 years. And I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to say that because that happens. And Kane University really helped me grow as a woman, learn about myself, leadership roles I was able to take on, even be a cheerleader, one of the first Latina cheerleaders on the squad. And, just really exposed me to a whole nother world. So that was my Kane University experience. And, obviously there's a lot more, but we're just touching on the surface. And then I just think it's important that once we're there, we need help. And these institutions need to have programs that are helping us stay in college and get the resources that we need to fight some of these barriers or overcome some of these barriers that we face as people of color.
No, 100%. I agree. Similar background to you, and we spoke, privately, offline. So, first generation college grad myself. The first at the time with the MBA, the only with a doctor at the moment. Hopefully, there's more after, and there will be. And then, same thing with me, right? Same struggles, and even with a doctorate, the average time frame was 3 to 4 years. I did it in almost 8, but it's okay. It's not how you start; it's how you finish, as they say, right? So,
right. And I think it's important that we remind ourselves of that. So that's another part of being kind to ourselves, right? Right. Just it's okay. It doesn't matter as long as you get to where you want to be, and it's all right. And I think, I have to commend you on getting a doctorate. We don't see you're like the very small percentage that accomplish that. And that's a big deal. And so congratulations to you as well.
Nah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. But it's all about you today. So your experience is in communication relations, of course, leading to your role with CHPRD and now external relations. So what drives you to do what you do on a day-to-day basis?
I think what drives me and has always driven me has been my passion for my community and help others that are just like me. I think that drives everything that I've done and that I've continued to do. It's always aligned with my values and with things that I strongly believe in, which is community and empowering our community, especially whether we're women, whether it's minorities and women in the workforce, women in politics, right? Our communities, immigrant communities, our undocumented students, all of those things that affect our communities. It really drives me to help them. And sometimes, this is amazing to me because people think, oh, well, let's ask somebody, they're going to give us all the answers. No, sometimes it's just, you can help someone by offering them a resource. That's a huge help. You can't say, oh, I can't help you. We can all help someone by providing another person that can help guide them. There's so many ways to help. So it's not always like having all the answers, and that's okay. It's just about being able to say, hey, here's a resource. Check this out online. Or maybe, listen, I heard about this, but the homework has to come from you. So my passion is always about trying to assist as much as I can and empower our communities to feel like, hey, we have a voice. Nobody took our voice away, right? But let's make it loud. Let's make it known. And let's let this country know that we are here, whether it's the state government, local government, and just, a national government.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You have similar drives, right? Which is why we get along so well. Now tell me about Lupe. Are you still volunteering with them? Or I also, and my part 2 of that question is, how important is volunteerism to you, like professionally?
So volunteering was very hard, as you know, when you're coming up in a low, moderate income family. It's very hard to do. In your heart, you want to give back. And it becomes very challenging because you have family or things like that. So don't get discouraged, though. I just say that when it comes to volunteering, because volunteering can be just jumping on a call, just going to one-time an event, a Christmas toy drive. Just, it doesn't mean you have to be involved 24/7. It started with me when I became a single mother, but I knew I wanted to give back at some time. And I had a little bit of time because he was a little younger and I could kind of okay, he wasn't going to school yet in that capacity. And so I kind of just did some time in an immigration department with a lawyer and a paralegal because I wanted to help others that were like families that resembled mine, right? The young adult, the young mini adult, right? You become an adult at a very young age, translating and so forth. And we've talked about this. I just want your listeners and viewers to know my story is not unique. Many of us have gone down this path, right? And it's really about how we leveraged our experiences to make us who we are today and to push us. But I think with volunteerism, it was important to me. So I had to shift my priorities as the years went on. And then I found this great organization called Lupe. This young lady, Yvette Mosquera, who is now the president, she introduced me to it. And she said, it's a great organization. I had never worked with Latinas in my life. And so to see a group of strong-minded women leaders from New Jersey, just in different realms, branches of just different expertises and just phenomenal women, I was truly impressed. And I'm still on the board. I'm active on the board. So there's the Lupe Fund, which is the 501c3 arm that does programming, scholarships. We have a wonderful Power of Women event, an annual event. We've just launched our mentorship program with a school in Paterson, New Jersey. So we're excited about that with some young women in high school. And so we do a lot of that work there. And we're very proud of the work we've done. We're about to turn 20 years in 2023. So it's a big deal. We've had an impact in the state of New Jersey as it relates to supporting and educating women through Elección Latina, which is a program to, to show you and teach you how to run campaigns, how to get involved, how to run for office, to meet elected officials who have won their races or not won their races, take some good lessons from it and so forth. So we've really done the groundwork, thank goodness, with a great group of women throughout the years. We also have a separate arm, which is the Lupe PAC. And the PAC is the Political Action Committee, and they just strictly endorse candidates to run for office. So yes, I am still involved, and since 2008.
Love it. Shout out to Lupe and shout out to you, Lupe sisters, right? So
Thank you.
I wanted to get into some stats, speaking of the Latino community, right? So doing some research and interviewing you. So according to an article by SHRM, Hispanic individuals accounted only for 4% of large U.S. companies' most senior executives in 2021, according to a survey, right? That's essentially flat with the 5% reported in 2020, 2019, right? So I know we're not going to resolve the issue here in 30 minutes, but what do you think we could do? I think you already tackled that in the early going with the Boys to Leaders Foundation, but what else do you think we could do to help close that gap, in your opinion?
Well, first of all, we have to understand what's happening nationally, on a national level. Sometimes we get stuck, in New Jersey, and I get it. I know why, but understanding the landscape on a national level. I remember, Lupe, we invited Esther Aguilar from, you know her very well, who does great work on a national level, getting Latinos on boards and so forth. And she really taught us a lesson about it's good to focus on where you are, because obviously, but you need to understand the dynamic, the larger dynamic, right? And get involved in that as well. So we know how in New Jersey, those numbers are probably very low. But what can we do to close the gap was your question. I think there's several things we can do, and it's all about relationships, right? It's all about relationships. And if you're in a corporation, and I'll just say that, so if you're in a corporation and you are like mid-level management or management level, but you want to move up, it's relationships, right? Having that relationship with the CEO, having that relationship or becoming more visible, in your company, join an employee resource group, be the president, the vice president, right? Get people to see you, do the newsletter, become involved in the newsletter, volunteer. They will notice you. They will see you. You don't always have to be upfront and yelling and be, however in corporate world, but there's other ways we can do it. So it's all about relationship building, and you have to be open to and listening to what others are doing, and whether that works for you, whether that doesn't. But I see a lot of great things happening when you work on the newsletter, just in general, become more visible in your company. And there's ways you can do that. I think we're not going to solve it overnight, but it's also creating that awareness and sticking together. And when I say sticking together, it's really mostly for all of us, for women, people of color, all of us minorities, to really just join together. And how can we work together in this corporation to make sure that we're advocating and pushing the qualified person to move up into the company? It's not always about you. It's a greater picture, because that's a legacy that we leave behind. And then we're opening more doors for others that come behind us. So I think that is also very important, looking at the bigger picture, at the, long if you really want to make a difference. Now, if you're just in it for yourself, that's a whole nother story. I can't help you there.
Exactly, and I agree. Our good friend Luis de la Host, right? Shout out to him. He always says visibility creates credibility, credibility creates profitability, right? So it kind of it goes to your point, right? You have to volunteer, join the ERG groups. They see the good work you do, and that's how you move up in the organization, right? So great point there. Great point there.
Do you want to promote your product or services to your target audience but don't know how? Do you struggle with social media marketing and management? Do you have challenges with lead generation for your business online? Well, look no further. Get More Clicks Media helps with SMS, MMS, and email marketing. Also, social media marketing and management, video marketing, lead generation, brand recognition, SEO, e-commerce, and website development. For more information, please visit getmoreclicksmedia.com. That's getmoreclicksmedia.com.
Which is going to segue into, you started Boys and Leaders Foundation. I know you mentioned that earlier in 2013. What's its mission and why did you start this nonprofit?
So this nonprofit was created because, quick story, my son was about 11 or 12 and he had career day. He went to school in Newark Elementary School and he had a wonderful career day. And while we get in the car, I've always made it a habit to not ask him only open-ended questions. Did you have a good day? Yes. Did you have somebody early on, in which his daycare place teacher told me, don't ask those kind of questions. Ask questions that you can have a conversation. So I always ask him a little more. I try to dig in. Oh, even though I'm tired working 2 or 3 jobs or whatever's happening in the world, but you've got to spend a little time. Sometimes that's the only time you have with your children, which is in the car. Right? Okay, I digress. But let me get back to your point. He comes in and he tells me he had a great day and career day, but there was no one there that spoke Spanish. So I was really amazed. I was like, wow, career day, no one spoke Spanish in Newark? Oh my goodness. And then I started thinking about other women that were just like me, moms, that maybe their children were not being exposed to leaders that look like them. And wow, what a disservice. So I said, if God gave me the privilege to know so many people at that time that I was getting to know and I was forming new relationships within the city, there's got to be a reason. And I just went to one of them and I said, listen, I have a vision. I think I can hold a conference and start a group for moms like me or parents like me and expose our young men that maybe don't speak English or just are having trouble in school, are not exposed to leaders that look like them. And she was like, yes, it's a great idea. Let's do it. I said, all right. And then I just did it. And born was Boys to Leaders. And it's all about inspiring, motivating, and empowering our young men that they can be whatever they want to be, in this world. It's all about professional development. It's all about leadership. That's really what we focus on. We are a volunteer organization, so we do not get paid for anything that we do. But our main thing is to provide that resource to our young men. So one thing that I've made it really important was to have our conference on a college campus, because many of our young men never get to step foot on a college campus for whatever reason. So I said, let's expose them to what college campus looks like, right? And let's expose them to leaders that speak Spanish or not even speak Spanish, that look like them, men of color. And so it started as the Latino Youth Conference, but in a couple of years after that, it turned into the Youth Leadership Conference because we had African American, we had Caucasian, we had Asian, we had everybody coming to our conference. So there was a strong need in our community for it. And I am so grateful for the partnership from Dr. Diane Hill at Rutgers University in the Newark campus that opened their arms. And our first conference was at NJIT. So I'm also grateful for that, for Vivian Lanzo and the great team over there for SHIP that opened their arms and held our conference. So it's about people believing in our mission. They know we do the work, right? And we get the work done. And it's about making an impact in a young person's life. If we start early, we can do it. We can touch the life of one young man at that conference, and we've done our due diligence. Of course, we want to touch everyone that goes in there, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes our young men need a little bit more encouragement and more follow-up, but there are some great programs in their schools, and we try to provide those resources as well. I can go on, but now we're providing scholarships for young men. This is going to be our third year providing scholarships. Thank you to our donors who have been so generous. We have scholarships that have gone out to young men that are in school in Ohio, that come from New Jersey, students from Essex County VOTAG, students from Bloomfield College, Kane, Stevens, I mean, just all over. Students from Atlantic City. This one gentleman won a scholarship. So we are statewide at this point, opening our arms to any young man that wants to, be a part of it. We have the most important thing that I would like to mention is this organization was started. It was in my mind and the vision. Of course, I did the legwork, but it was started by my son and a group of young men who really came up with the workshops they wanted to do, the things they wanted us to talk about, the kind of leaders they wanted us to bring. And it still continues to be that way. It's this group of young men that really tell us this is what we need. There was a point they said we need scholarships. All right, help us. Let's go. And so it really comes from their minds and their hearts. So that's why it's special, because it's not about me. I think one way and I think, well, this is what young men need, but we all know men and women think differently, right? And so we have to go into and speak to our young students and listen to them and really just say, hey, we're here to help you and provide those resources. And that is what Boys to Leaders is about. And I have a dynamic board from mental health clinicians to capital, investors, people doing venture capital, and people that work for the state, people that work for the local government, like just a wide range of experts, attorneys, and they are all willing to mentor these young men. So it is fabulous, phenomenal, and I'll stop there.
Now you're doing some amazing work. So, and I've been to a couple of events, and I'm really glad to support it. We'll continue to support. So, great job there, right?
Thank you.
Now, wanted to get back to what we were discussing before. I know I gave you some stats, getting Hispanics more involved in senior leadership, but there's also board roles, right? So I wanted to give you some stats from Al Dia, right? Only 47% of Latino directors have a presence on the board of Fortune 1000 companies. 65% of companies lack a Hispanic presence on their boards. And one last stat, the percentage of board seats held by Latinos has increased to 4.4% at Fortune 500 companies and 4.1% at Fortune 1000 companies. So it's a big increase, but not much. So similar question to before, what do you think we could do to kind of help address that and get folks more like you and I on these boards?
The one thing that automatically came to mind was let's organize. Let's get organized. I think one of the things is also in our culture, we're taught that, we kind of shy away from boasting about our own accomplishments and the things that we do. But modesty isn't rewarded in the corporate world. And we have to remember that. I think that in order for us to get on more boards, and let's be clear, there's paid boards and there's non-paid boards, right? So we also want to do that distinction as well. But we're going to say in this conversation, just generally a board, right? A corporate board. It's about relationships, once again, right? Getting to know the key players. Look at a board or an institution that you're interested in. Getting to know those key players. Organize. I think there has to be more organization as far as we're talking about Latino community here in New Jersey, where we can say, I know that Lupe, we did this for a few years and we were very successful. And I think we're going to bring it back in 2023, which is getting resumes and recruiting. The problem that they say is, this is what I've heard many times, we don't have Latinos resume. We can't find them. What do you mean? We are the 20.9% of the population in the state of New Jersey. And I'm sure there are tons of professionals that would be more than qualified to serve on a board. So do not tell me that. So if you can't find them, my answer is always, well, let me show you where they are, because I have a few of them. It's all about organizing, but I think we have to do more of a stronger effort in recruiting and getting the word out. Hey, this recruitment's happening for this board. I send it to 10 people that I know in my network. Within those 10 people, I'll say, listen, can you reshare this information with people in your network? So let's continue the chain, right? It's not always about one person doing all of the work. I don't need that. I need for you to share the word so that we can get, resumes to this person or whoever's collecting the resumes or things like that. We have to work together and also feel like, especially, and I hate to say this sometimes, but we as women think, oh, we're not well prepared. I don't meet all the criterias that they're saying, no, because a man, sorry, Dr. B, would say, oh, I got almost all of them. And he's not worried about that missing one that he has, but we are. We have to get past that. And just go for it. We have to take those risks and just say, I want to apply for that board. I want to get involved. I want to do this. Let me look on the site, but you got to do your homework. Who are the players? How can I meet them? Or, just send an email. But I think if we together, for example, organizations like Lupe, Boys to Leaders, the Chamber, there's a lot of great organizations that have a strong network. And if we send an email out to Dr. B and say, Horizon is looking for new board members. This is the criteria. Can you please share with your network? Please send resumes to whoever. My expectation is that you're going to get that out to your networks. Lupa is going to get it out to their networks. Voice to Leaders is going to get it out to their networks. And that's how we got collectively work together. There never has to be one person or one. No, why are we giving that power to someone? No, let's work together so that we can accomplish the goal, which is to get more Latinos on corporate boards, whether paid or unpaid, and building relationships and helping one another. I think it's important that we continue to open these doors and build a legacy. We can die tomorrow, but what have we done while we are here to make this a better place for our people should be the question.
No, 100%. I agree. Let's work together, right? And it shouldn't be up to one entity to kind of deal with that, right? We should all work together and collaborate and partner and network with each other to get more folks like you and I on these boards, paid or unpaid. 100% agree. Your current role with PSEG, your Director of External Relations, tell us about that.
So as the Director of External Affairs, I'm primarily responsible for developing and implementing strategic outreach and communication to support some of the critical power initiatives that PSEG has and PSENG. My role includes managing a team of regional public affairs managers, and they advocate and gain support for key business priorities of the company, legislative and regulatory proposals, as well as projects to a wide range of external audiences. And I'm really excited to join PSEG, a company with a mission to make our communities better place to live and work. PSEG has placed sustainability at the forefront of the company's agenda, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to work there, and that their commitment to cultivating diversity and inclusion has really been, a lot to say about the company. So I'm really excited to be joining the team.
Where can people find out more information about PSEG?
So sure, you can go on their website, www.pseng. Well, remember, PSEG, not the and.
Yeah, I know, a little tricky.
Yeah, there's two separate things. So www.pseg.com, and you'll find information about one of the great things that I love right now that's happening is the Clean Energy Jobs Program. You'll find information about energy efficient programs that you can do for your small business or residential homes. There's safe energy tips. There's information about electric vehicle structures that we're working on. And there's also basic information on how to report an outage and so forth that you can get on that website. So it's a really great website for you to just get familiar with. Also, there's a mobile app for it as well.
Last question. Where can folks find out more information about Boys to Leaders Foundation, where to donate, where to support? Where's the website for Boys?
Yes, absolutely. So please sign up, as an emerging leader, if you're a young person and you want to just be part of that conversation and join our workshops that we have virtually on a monthly basis. And their workshops about leadership topics, as well as just peer-to-peer mentorship that happens in these workshops as well. Young men have the opportunity to meet one another, talk about some of the struggles or the good things that they're going through. So stay connected with us if you'd like to be a donor. Donate to our scholarship fund. Also, you can do all of this on our website at www.boystoleadersfoundation.org. Or you can email me directly.
There you go, exactly. Sarah, it's been a pleasure to have you on my show. I've been wanting to have you on my show for a while, and we had a great conversation. And we were not able to solve as far as boards and Latinos in leadership roles, but at least we started the conversation, right? And now we have the game plan. So thank you so much.
That's all we're trying to do. Thank you for having me. You're amazing. Keep doing the great work that you're doing within our communities as well. And if there's ever anything we can support, I'm sure not only for myself, but your viewers, we're all here to assist you and support you as well.
Thank you so much, Sara Pena, everybody.
Has the pandemic changed the way you prospect today? Do you struggle prospecting for new leads for your business? Do you have challenges and don't have a process when networking at an event, either virtually or online? Well, look no further. Borja Consulting Group's Transforming Your Way to Success online course is a solution. In this 8-week intensive course, you will go from networking novice to networking guru. As a bonus, 2 coaching sessions with Dr. Jairo Borja himself are now included in the course. Don't miss this amazing opportunity to transform your pipeline, increase quality leads, close more deals, and transform your way to success. For more information, please visit our website, www.borjaconsultinggroup.com. That's www.borjaconsultinggroup.com.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. B here. Hope you enjoyed the episode with Sara Pena, my dear friend, my dear colleague, and hope you're inspired to do something, and hopefully you follow the Boys to Leaders Foundation. See you next time.